Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's Miss Ginny from the Rotary Children's Library. Welcome to Sponge Painted Reindeer that we're going to make today with our program called Art Creations at 3:30. So you can print off the instructions and supply list on our website at DraytonValleyLibrary.ca, and it's under programs. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is you'll need to have some sponges, and you'll want to cut them into shapes for your reindeer. So you'll need the square shape for the body, you'll need a triangle shape for the head, you'll need just a small shape for the legs, and a small sort of triangular shape for the tail. So you'll want to cut your sponges to those shapes. So you'll need a pair of scissors. You're going to want some paint, some brown acrylic paint and some white. You're going to want some paper plates to put your paint on, and some Google eyes, maybe some glue, some Sharpie, a black Sharpie, and some Q-tips for dipping into the paint. And if you have any red glitter paint, you can use that. But not to worry about that. If you don't, you can always use your glue, and you can just use some glitter. All right, so let's get started. So the other thing you're going to need is some white cardstock, and you'll want some blue cardstock, light blue. So I have pre-cut my sponges, and I cut a snow bank kind of thing for the bottom of my blue cardstock that's going to go on the bottom. So that'll be the first thing you want to do, is glue that on. All right. So have your glue stick or your glue. I'm going to use a glue stick today, I think. Yeah, I'll just use that. Put some glue on the bottom of your white snowbank cardstock that you have just drawn out and cut out, and then glue it to the bottom. I'm just going to turn this so you can see. Hopefully you can still hear me. So I'm just gluing this to the bottom of my blue, light blue cardstock, because this is for your picture. So that's my snowbank. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper plate, and I'm going to put some brown on one of my paper plates so I can make the sponge body of the reindeer. Okay, so just need some dark brown paper or paint to dip my sponge in. And you want to make sure you get your sponge completely covered. You don't have to have the paint dripping, but make sure you have enough paint so that you can do the sponge, because you want the whole sponge to be covered in paint. Now let's just put a bit more paint in here on here, because I don't have quite enough on my paper plate. All right, so I'm going to dip the sponge in. Make sure you've got that square completely covered with paint. Again, it doesn't have to be dripping, so you want it completely covered. And I see one spot that I didn't get. And you'll know if it's completely covered because my sponge is pink, and so it's turned all brown. So now you want to put it down towards the bottom, the body, because you're going to have the legs kind of standing on the snowbank. So you want to press it down in one spot like that. So that's the body of your of your reindeer. So now you want to do the head. So now this is when you take your triangle sponge and you do the same thing. You get it all covered in paint. And this is for the head of the reindeer. So you're going to want that to be just a little bit above and kind of over by on the corner. So you can see we've got the head and the body. So now you're going to take the sort of rectangular looking shape for the legs. And I just need a bit more paint on my plate here. And you're going to do 4 legs. So again, make sure that you have your sponge dipped in. And you're going to do 4 legs. So decide where you're going to put the legs. There's 1. There's 2. And I'm going to put the other 2 on the back. 3 and 1 more. You need 4 legs for your reindeer, of course. So there you've got the sponge painted reindeer. So now what you want to do is you are going to take because it's got to dry for a bit, you're going to take your felt or Sharpie marker and you're going to draw in some antlers on the top. And then you're going to draw in the other antler. And be careful because you still have wet paint there. So you're going to want to let your paint dry. Now, I don't have the, I'm going to get my blow dryer actually and blow dry it so it dries a little bit faster. And I'm going to blow it dry. So I'm just going to blow it dry. So that I can put my Google eyes on. And then my nose, the red nose, the glittery red nose, big red nose. Maybe it's Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. All right. So now I will take my Q-tip and I will put a nose on from my red glitter paint. If you don't have any, like I said, you can always use glue. And you can always use white glue and then put some glitter on. So I'm going to put a red nose on the end here. And it just kind of looks nice when it's all sparkly. And then, so you can see I have the nose on there. And then I'm going to glue on some Google eyes. So I use my glue. And glue on some Google eyes. Need to be the same size, or you can make them different sizes or different colored Google eyes if you want. It's up to you, but I'm using black and white. Oh, and the other thing you're going to want to do is we got to put his tail on. So I'm going to take my brown paint with my little triangle shape and put his tail on. So I have enough brown paint left to put a tail on the end of my reindeer. And if you want to put some ears on too, you can do that. But, and you can just use that little triangle that we used before and just put some ears on here, on the ends here, right by the antlers. So you can see, and I have a bit too much glue there, you can see that that's where, that's our reindeer. And I'm just going to make these antlers look a little bit better, if I can. And then you can take your Q-tip, another Q-tip, and you can do snowflakes or snow coming down just by dotting around your picture to look like the snow is coming down with your white paint. All right, so that is your reindeer. And that's your reindeer picture. So I hope you enjoyed our craft, and I hope that you have fun making your craft. And I will see you again next time. Bye for now. All right.